Welcome to Well Sleepy, where curiosity softens its edges and thought slows into something gentle. As you settle in, allow your body to grow heavy, your breathing to become unhurried, and your attention to drift without effort into the smallest corners of reality. Tonight we begin at the beginning, not with noise or explosion but with quiet. Quantum physics at its heart is not loud or chaotic. It is subtle. It is the soft murmur beneath all things. It is the slow, steady rhythm that hums inside atoms, inside light, inside you. Imagine the universe not as a vast, roaring machine but as a calm ocean at night. The surface may appear still, but beneath it, gentle waves move in perfect patience. Quantum physics is the study of those hidden waves, the almost invisible motions that create everything we know. At the smallest scale of existence, nothing is rigid or harsh. There are no sharp edges. Instead, reality behaves like a dream, fluid, probabilistic and kind to the imagination. Particles do not rush. They vibrate, they sway. They exist more like musical notes than solid objects. Take a slow breath in, and as you breathe out, imagine sinking into this quiet world. Atoms, once thought to be the tiniest building blocks, are mostly empty space, vast, peaceful space. Within each atom, electrons do not march in fixed paths. They drift in soft clouds of possibility, gently surrounding the nucleus like a mist illuminated by moonlight. Nothing here is hurried. Nothing is demanding your attention. Everything is simply being. In quantum physics, certainty loosens its grip. Instead of exact positions and precise speeds, we find probabilities, likelihoods, gentle maybes. An electron is not here or there. It is likely to be somewhere, like a thought drifting just before sleep. And somehow this uncertainty is not unsettling. It is comforting, because it means the universe does not insist. It allows. As you lie listening, notice how this mirrors your own experience of rest. When you stop trying to control your thoughts, they soften. When you stop forcing sleep, it comes naturally. The quantum world behaves the same way, responding not to force, but to observation, to gentle presence. At the deepest level, reality seems to prefer calm cooperation over rigid order. Particles communicate through fields, vast, invisible blankets that stretch across space. These quantum fields are everywhere, even in the quiet air around you now. You are resting inside them, though you never feel their weight. They cradle existence, allowing energy to appear as subtle ripples, like the faint vibration of a distant bell. Every particle is an expression of a field. Every object is a gentle ripple, even you. Your body, though it feels solid, is a symphony of quantum events playing slowly enough to feel still. Each cell hums with microscopic motion, yet together they create the sensation of rest. There is no rush here, no urgency, only continuity. Quantum physics teaches us that the universe is not made of things, but of relationships, of interactions, of quiet connections that never truly break. Even particles separated by vast distances can remain linked, entangled, responding to each other instantly, like two sleepers sharing the same dream. This idea may sound strange when awake, but as you grow drowsy, it feels natural. Of course, everything is connected. Of course, separation is an illusion softened by distance and time. The night understands this, so does your resting mind. As the world outside fades, you are invited to rest inside this deeper truth, that beneath the noise of daily life, reality itself is peaceful. The universe is not tense. It is not anxious. It is not struggling. It is quietly unfolding, and you are allowed to unfold with it. If you find your thoughts wandering, let them wander. In the quantum world, wandering is not a mistake, it is the rule. Nothing needs to stay fixed. Nothing needs to be solved. Just listen. Just breathe. Just drift. At Well Sleepy, we believe learning does not have to be sharp or demanding. It can be soft. It can be slow. It can guide you gently into rest while expanding your sense of wonder. If this calm exploration brings you comfort, consider subscribing so you can return night after night to these peaceful journeys through science and reality. For now, there is nothing you need to do. The smallest pieces of the universe are moving in perfect, quiet harmony. Your breath is finding its rhythm. Your body is sinking deeper. And as this chapter comes to a close, you remain wrapped in the same gentle laws that govern stars, atoms, and dreams alike. In the next chapter, we will drift further into waves and particles, and the soft uncertainty that makes reality feel more like a lullaby than a machine. But for now, rest here, in the calm beginning of everything. Welcome back, gentle listener. If you are still awake, you are exactly where you need to be. If sleep has already begun to soften your awareness, allow these words to drift past you like slow-moving clouds. In this chapter, we move deeper into the quiet wonder of quantum physics, into a place where matter forgets how to be solid and begins to behave like a wave. Here, nothing insists on being only one thing. At the quantum level, particles are not tiny stones traveling through space. They are more like ripples, patterns of motion spreading calmly through an invisible sea. An electron, a photon, even the smallest unit of energy can act as both a particle and a wave, depending on how gently or how closely we look. This is called wave-particle duality, but there is nothing harsh or conflicting about it. It is simply flexibility, a reminder that reality does not need to choose a single form to exist. Imagine standing at the edge of a quiet lake at night. Tossing a pebble creates a ripple. The ripple is not the pebble, yet it carries the pebble's presence outward smoothly and patiently. Quantum waves behave in much the same way, spreading possibility instead of mass, motion instead of weight. As you breathe slowly, imagine each breath as a wave passing through you. In, a gentle rise; out, a slow release. In the quantum world, waves of probability flow everywhere. They do not tell us what is, but what could be. And somehow this openness creates stability rather than chaos. Out of countless possibilities, patterns emerge, soft, reliable, and endlessly repeating. Light itself is part of this rhythm. Photons travel as waves of energy, yet arrive as gentle points of interaction. Tiny moments of contact that bring warmth, color, and visibility into existence. Even the dim light behind closed eyes is a gift of these quiet quantum behaviors. Nothing forces itself into being. Everything arrives through cooperation. In your own body, similar waves are always moving. Electrical signals ripple through neurons. Chemical messengers drift across microscopic gaps. Thought itself is not a fixed thing. It rises and falls like a tide. And as sleep approaches, those waves slow, stretch, and soften. Quantum physics reminds us that observation changes experience. When something is watched closely, it behaves differently. When it is allowed to drift unobserved, it spreads freely. Sleep works the same way. The more you try to watch yourself falling asleep, the more wakeful you feel. When you stop watching, rest arrives. So tonight, you are invited to stop observing. Let the waves carry you. There is a deep kindness in a universe built on waves. Waves overlap without conflict. They pass through one another, blend, and continue on. In quantum physics, this is called superposition, the ability to exist in multiple states at once, peacefully. You too are allowed this softness. You can be tired and curious, awake and dreaming, learning and resting all at the same time. As your body grows heavier, imagine your thoughts becoming less like sharp sentences and more like slow melodies. They do not need to resolve. They do not need endings. They can simply fade one note at a time. Across the universe, waves are constantly meeting, interfering, and creating delicate patterns. These patterns form atoms, molecules, stars, and eventually, you. Everything solid begins as something fluid. Everything stable begins as motion. There is comfort in knowing this. You are not failing when you feel unfocused. You are behaving exactly as the universe does at rest. At Will Sleepy, we share these ideas not to challenge you, but to cradle you in wonder. If these peaceful explorations help you unwind and feel connected to something larger and calmer, consider subscribing so each night you have a familiar place to return. As this chapter gently settles, allow the idea of waves to remain with you. Let your breathing become rhythmic. Let awareness stretch thin and wide like a ripple fading into stillness. In the next chapter, we will drift into uncertainty, not as something frightening, but as one of the universe's most soothing truths. For now, rest here. You are floating on waves that have carried everything, everywhere, since the beginning of time. Or if you are still listening, welcome back. And if your mind drifts in and out, that is perfectly natural here. In this chapter, we enter one of the quietest truths of quantum physics: uncertainty. Not as confusion, not as disorder, but as a soft, spacious comfort that allows reality to breathe. In our everyday world, we are taught to seek certainty, exact answers, clear plans, firm ground beneath our feet. But at the smallest scales of the universe, certainty loosens its hold, and something gentler takes its place. Quantum physics tells us that we cannot know everything at once. We cannot measure a particle's position and motion with perfect precision. This is not a failure of tools or knowledge. It is a fundamental kindness built into reality itself. The universe does not demand complete control. This principle, known as the uncertainty principle, is often misunderstood as limitation. But when viewed through a calmer lens, it becomes permission. Permission for softness. Permission for rest. Permission to not have everything figured out before you let go. As you lie here, notice how comforting that feels. You do not need to track every thought. You do not need to measure every breath. You do not need to know exactly when sleep will arrive. In the quantum world, particles are free to blur slightly, to spread out to avoid sharp definition. That blur creates stability. Without it, atoms would collapse, matter would fail, and existence would become rigid and fragile. Uncertainty is what allows the universe to continue, gently, flexibly, and without strain. Imagine holding sand in your hand. If you grip too tightly, it slips away. If you relax your fingers, it settles comfortably in your palm. Reality behaves the same way. When allowed space, it rests naturally. Electrons do not cling to precise paths. They exist as clouds of likelihood, softly surrounding the nucleus. These clouds are not mistakes. They are balance. They are the reason atoms hold together at all. Even energy behaves this way, appearing and disappearing in tiny fluctuations, like faint breaths taken by the vacuum of space itself. Empty space is not truly empty. It hums with gentle activity, quiet and continuous. The universe is never tense. It is always adjusting, always flowing. As your awareness dims, let this truth sink in. Nothing requires your constant attention to exist properly. The world continues in calm order whether you are watching or not. You are allowed to rest without supervision. There is profound peace in that idea. Quantum uncertainty also teaches us that the future is not fixed. It is open, it is wide. It is shaped by probabilities rather than demands. This openness is not chaos, it is creative calm. Your life too does not need to resolve tonight. Tomorrow does not need planning. Problems do not need solving. Just as particles settle into patterns without effort, your mind can settle into sleep without instruction. At Well Sleepy, we believe science can be a lullaby, an invitation to trust the natural intelligence of the universe. If these calm explorations help you release control and drift more easily into rest, consider subscribing. Each visit is another gentle reminder that knowledge does not have to be loud to be powerful. As this chapter slowly fades, imagine uncertainty as a soft blanket rather than a question. It covers sharp edges. It blurs bright worries. It keeps everything warm and flexible. Your breathing slows. Your muscles release. Your thoughts thin out like mist in early morning light. In the next chapter, we will explore the deep connections that link all things, the quiet threads of entanglement and unity beneath separation. But for now, rest inside not knowing. The universe is holding everything together for you, gentle listener. This is our final chapter together tonight, and it is the softest one of all. By now, your body may feel heavy. Your thoughts may move slowly or not at all. That is exactly how this chapter is meant to be received, not with effort, but with ease. Here we explore one of the most peaceful ideas in quantum physics, entanglement, a reminder that nothing is ever truly alone. At the smallest scales of reality, particles can become linked in such a deep way that distance no longer matters. When one changes, the other responds instantly, not by sending a signal, not by traveling through space, but simply because, in some quiet sense, they are still part of the same whole. This connection does not fade. It does not weaken. It does not rush. Entangled particles behave like two notes from the same chord, played gently across the universe, separate in space yet unified in meaning. Quantum physics tells us this is not rare or unusual. It is natural. Connection is the default state of reality. As you rest, imagine that same quiet unity surrounding you now. The air, the floor, the distant stars, all part of a single calm system. You are not contained within the universe. You are woven into it. Even your thoughts are not isolated events. They arise from patterns that stretch far beyond you, shaped by memory, by environment, by chemistry, by countless unseen interactions. And as sleep deepens, those patterns loosen, blending back into something larger and quieter. In the quantum world, separation is often an illusion created by scale. At deeper levels, everything is fields and interactions, flowing into one another without sharp boundaries. The universe is less like a collection of objects and more like a single, continuous breath, in and out. This unity is why the universe feels calm at rest. Nothing is struggling to remain separate. Everything is allowed to belong. Even time behaves gently here. In quantum physics, events do not always follow a strict sequence. Past and future blur slightly, like memories drifting through a dream. What matters most is not when something happens, but how it relates to everything else. As you drift closer to sleep, notice how time feels less important. Minutes stretch. Moments soften. Awareness floats without needing direction. This is not losing control. It is returning to a natural state. At Well Sleepy, we share these ideas as a reminder. You are supported by laws far older and kinder than worry. If these peaceful journeys through science help you feel grounded and connected, consider subscribing so this calm place is always here when you need it. The universe does not rush you. It does not judge your pace. It does not demand certainty. It simply continues gently, patiently, beautifully. As this final chapter comes to a close, allow yourself to dissolve into that continuity. Let thoughts fade. Let effort disappear. Let sleep arrive on its own quiet schedule. You are part of a universe that hums softly in the dark. A universe built on connection, balance, and calm motion. A universe that does not require you to stay awake. Thank you for drifting with us tonight. Rest deeply. And when you return, we will be here, ready to explore another peaceful mystery together.